The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings, and alert the media. The Banger and Company is back on the microphone.
Welcome to our 200th episode.
And I know we promised you a 2-hour episode, but because of recent events, we're going to cut the nostalgia down to 1 hour. The second hour this week will be normal broadcasting. Tonight, we remember where we came from. Traversing the 199 episodes, what brought us here, what's some of our favorite moments, and when you first met some of the personalities, like Shady, Wilbert Hillbilly, Abu, and Stone Logic. Tonight is a night we remember. In our 200th episode, grab yourself your favorite beverage and spark up whatever you want, because we're going for a ride. Stand by for complete transmission. Thank you again for coming to this 200th episode of the John Lebang Show. On my right, I have my good friend Shady. It's good to be back. Got any beer? Yeah, in the cooler next to you. Oh, okay. You gonna tell everybody hi? Hello, everybody. And to my left, I have my good friend Wilbert Hillbilly.
Howdy, everyone.
And since we're celebrating this 200th episode with you, my listeners, we wanted to share the history of the John Lebang Show, from its conception to where it's currently at. We began way back in 2012, and we went through what we call a season here on the John Lebang Show, or what we did call a season, and it was 14 episodes. And it was primarily me getting used to being on the airwaves.
Yep, I wasn't on till like the second season.
Yeah, and I didn't get on till you were on Alien X Radio. So then we had a second season, which was sparked primarily by the 2012 elections and how they went, and I began to become more engaged. And so because of that, the show went into its second season, carried into a third season, and all these seasons were on YouTube. We hadn't even hit the ground on the internet radio yet. We were then in the fourth season, picked up by a local radio station here in Detroit. Didn't last long, lasted 6 episodes. And we count that as the fourth season. And each season we were progressing, we were getting better. And we put together some tidbits from the first 4 seasons of the John Lebang Show. We were just getting into this, and we weren't great at all. Now included in this collage is the first appearance by a couple of our good friends and listeners, Abu and Peppa. Bringing a foot of white stuff. Oh yes, and that's not cocaine, ladies and gentlemen. Government says spy sperm can penetrate. Argus 1 is the Pentagon's newest unmanned aerial spy. The aircraft was created by the World Surveillance Group for the Pentagon. And for more on that subject, we turn to our military expert, Wilbert Hillbilly. So, Wilbert, why the sperm shape?
Well, John, from the conception of this project, the United States wanted a probe to be able to penetrate the enemy in any location. And I can tell you by my 12 children, sperm can be pretty sneaky.
So the spy sperm can inject itself without being detected?
That's right.
Did you fly in or did you drive in?
Oh, man, I didn't fly in, man.
You didn't?
No, man, I drove across the country, man.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, man, I was hanging out with the drone man.
The who? The what? The drone man?
He's the drone man, man. You don't know about him, man?
Squatting is the proper and recommended way to go to the bathroom, to take a dump.
So I just thought I'd call you in, man, before your show was over, man, just let you know, man, that the unions, man, are, coming out to the California here, man, and, they're growing pot, man.
Well, man, might have to change my opinion on union workers, I tell you. So, all right, Stoney, thanks for calling in, man, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, man, see ya.
Back to the phones. Now, another call from Chicago.
I want to talk about
Thanks for your call. Is that right? Is that a phone call coming in from Saudi Arabia?
Hello, John.
Abu, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, we're just sitting here watching the whole Middle East burn. It is always chaos down here.
Abu, what are you doing in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, I got deported about a week ago.
You got deported?
Yes.
That guy's always in immigration trouble.
I reckon he's just got to get himself a green card.
Now, as we move past the first 4 seasons, and when time came, we approached a station here in the Detroit area, the one that is currently our home station, and that's Alien X Radio. Our first broadcast was April 13th, 2014. Here's a little montage of the first season on Alien X Radio. So why don't you give us a quick rundown of the situation?
A Ruby Ridge-style standoff is brewing in Nevada over claims that Bundy has allowed his cows to graze illegally on government land, endangering a protected species of tortoise.
And this is all over turtles?
Well, actually, John, they are tortoises. Bundy also said, "My forefathers have been up and down the Virgin Valley."
We've got Alex from Austin, Texas. What say you, Alex?
I have the Army following and watching me. Army is following me around. That they might be following me home today. I'll be like, oh, there they are behind me, and I can take 10 turns, and they're following me. It's the Army follows me around to and from work a lot of days.
Okay, thanks for your call. Is there any woman on earth that looks more like a witch than Nancy Pelosi, by the way? I mean, even her voice.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
The absolute best way to tell when the American people are about to get screwed is when there is a bipartisan agreement coming out of Washington. Then, of course, we have Harry Balls Reid finally saying something about the Rancher Ridge standoff. Where has he been? I don't know. Let's put all this into perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Just last week, we had federal agents prepared to forcibly confront a rancher and American citizen over cows grazing and taxes they say he owes. But this very week, the federal government is talking about legalizing millions of people who weren't even born here. Are we crazy? What kind of system is that? That's like me letting my neighbor's relatives move in while at the same time telling my wife she needs to pitch in more money because she can't live here for free. And you have to ask yourself, who do these people really work for? And why is it that immigration can never be solved? This goes on every election, every presidential election, every congressional election. It's been going on in the Bush years, in the Clinton years, in the Reagan years, here in the Obama years. We can never get rid of immigration. Immigration's always a problem. Why is it always a problem? It used to be healthcare wasn't always a problem. Well, now it is. Obamacare's this, Obamacare's that. Obamacare's doing great. No, it's doing bad. Obamacare. I mean, seriously. These issues never go away. The deficit, we have a deficit with money, budget, this, that, and we keep electing the same people. That is the definition of insanity to me. America has just gone insane. Authorities believe the unknown man is committing the act between 1 and 4 a.m., but a motive for crimes has not yet been established.
I think the neighbor's laughing about it, but that's because it's only happened to 2 houses in this neighborhood. If that starts happening more, I think people might become enraged.
Says Amy, who lives in the Heights.
How much poop can one man make, though?
She says one person's house has even been hit as many as 6 times.
I'm thinking revenge poop is definitely a possibility. We're all wondering, what did this person do who's having a creep crapper hit their house mouse repeatedly do.
We're going to open up the phone lines now. DC, you're on the John Lebang Show.
I inhaled.
Thanks for your call. And we have on the other line police spokesman Sergeant Baldo Shavecock.
There's no way of rounding the bees up.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the show. Dr. Peter Cleaver, the medical director of the Royal Liverpool Hospital, is now joining us on the line. Thank you, sir, for coming on. How did this happen?
We can confirm a patient who was scheduled to have a minor urological procedure was wrongly given a vasectomy.
Well, that's a bad deal, Doc. Will he make a full recovery?
We have apologized unreservedly to the patient, and we are offering him our full support. We greatly regret the distress this has caused him.
Distressed? You chopped up his schmeckle. Thanks for coming on. UFO spotted above airport causes flights to be canceled or delayed. The object was spotted on radars at German Bremen Airport, but despite a police helicopter being scrambled, nothing was found. That's because the aliens have cloaking devices. Didn't you know that? All alien ships have cloaking devices. Just watch Star Trek. Romulans have it, and the Klingons have it, and other races have it. Can you imagine if you're this, like, superior alien race? Just imagine being on the bridge of their ship, right? You're this race, and you got all these, like, really cool gadgets and tech, and you can, like, you have a cloaking device at your disposal, and you're here on Earth, right? And you're like,
Hey, let's f*** with the humans. Turn off the cloaking machine for 5 seconds, then turn it back on. They're gonna be freaked out for weeks.
folks, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. All these UFOs that are being spotted across the world is really just the Alien X radio mothership being spotted. Alien Stone has ordered the invasion of the Earth, and there is nothing that can stop it now. Resistance is futile. Prepare to be assimilated. Columbus, Ohio, welcome to the John Lebang Show.
Hello, John.
Abu, good to hear from you, my friend.
It's nice to hear from you, too. I was listening to the show, and I wanted to call in. Oh, can you hang on a moment, please, John? Just a moment.
Okay, I guess.
That would be $2.73. Keep the change. Okay, thank you very much. You still there, John?
Yeah, Abu. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm working at my cousin's 7-Eleven. Hang on just another second.
Okay, it's not like we're on the radio or anything.
That would be $12.85 plus tax.
What? $13 for condoms?
Yes. The banger ribbed for her pleasure prophylactic is $12.85 plus tax.
I've only got $8.
Well, may I suggest the banger discounted raincoat deluxe prophylactic? They are only 50 cents each.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
May I also suggest buying a second so you can double up? You can never be too safe, you know. Those dozen crabs can make you very itchy.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry about that, John.
No problem, Abu. So why did you call in?
Yes, I just wanted to say I have seen the UFOs and they make me very scared. Bye.
Okay, Abu. Thanks for your call. Come on, man. A horse is a horse is a horse, man. Godzilla is a Godzilla. And now we're going to the phones. Bernard in Norfolk, Virginia. Welcome to the show.
I brush my teeth 10 times a day. I'm no dumber.
Thanks for your call. Now to Knott County, Kentucky. You're on the John Lebang Show.
Hello, John.
Wilbert, how's the family?
They're doing fine. My oldest son, Junior, just got a job milking cows at the local farm.
Well, that's good. So what are you calling about tonight?
Well, the ISS, the jihadist group bringing terror to Iraq, overran a Saddam Hussein chemical weapons complex on Thursday, gaining access to stores of hundreds of tons of potential deadly poisons, including mustard and sarin gas.
Okay, Wilbert, I think I misheard you. Did you say that terrorists are in control of an Iraqi chemical weapons plant that has stockpiles of chemical weapons from the Saddam Hussein era?
I sure did.
Well, how can that be?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, according to the U.S. military and the government, they searched and searched all over the place for those stockpiles, and they couldn't find them. But now ISIS finds those chemical weapons just sitting there in a chemical weapons factory inside of Iraq?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange too. But according to the Telegraph, a former commander of Britain's Chemical Weapons Regiment said that factory has large stores of weaponized and bulk mustard gas and sarin. He continued, "We have seen that ISIS has used chemical weapons in explosions in Iraq before and has carried out experiments in Syria."
Wait, Syria? Is he referring to the supposed chemical weapon attack in Syria?
Well, I think so.
I thought they were talking about that was the Assad government. Now they're saying it's not the Assad government?
I don't know, John.
You know, we spent $2+ trillion. Okay, Wilbert, thanks for your call.
Anytime, John.
Detroit, Michigan. Shady, you're next. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm a first-time listener. My damn cable company won't fix my internet problem, so I turned on the radio, and there you were. And you said call in, so I did.
Okay, thanks for your call. Greg Grodockery was out with his fishing buddies 50 miles offshore of Fire Island Sunday when a wide-mouthed fish slided up to his boat. Grodecki said he thought it was a great white shark.
It was amazing to see. So beautiful and powerful. It's just a great experience.
Yeah. And didn't you see Jaws? Not a great experience. You might need to get a bigger boat.
Hello? Good morning, America. Are you there? Hello?
The more I've learned, the more I've read, the more knowledge I've taken in, the less I actually knew. I think sometimes I think, I find something out and I make sure I check all my facts and I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're a fucking idiot. How the fuck did you not know this already? Are you a fucking stupid motherfucker? And joining us on the line is our pharmaceutical expert, Stoned Logic. Welcome, Stoney. How you doing, man?
Hey, man. What's going on, man? We're just chilling out here in Colorado having a good old time, man.
So fill us in a little bit more of what this study was about.
Okay, man. The volunteers were part of what federal scientists say was the most comprehensive study ever conducted on how marijuana, man, and pot combined with alcohol affect drivers, man. The participants never got on real roads, man. Instead, they drove around for about 40 minutes behind the wheel of nads, man.
Nads? My nads itch sometimes.
Yeah, mine too, man. The lab also collects samples of marijuana seized by police to determine its potency, man, and to document national drug trends, man.
So they have all the good pot.
Yeah, man, I'd like to spend a few hours testing their samples, man.
Thanks for the report, Stoney.
Oh, that's cool, man. Bye.
All they had to do is call Stone Logic, and he could have told them everything they need to know about the subject, and he probably would have done it for less than an ounce of weed or something. It could have saved the government millions of dollars. In fact, I have all kinds of experts here on the John Lebang Show, and I know I can speak for all of them when I say this. As a public service to anyone inside any committee, university, study group, or governmental body, before spending untold taxpayer dollars on some kind of research, contact us here at the John Lebang Show. We'll save you 99% of the cost by simply answering the question you are looking for. Want to know if building autonomous robots capable of waging war and policing our streets is a good idea? Well, we'll tell you. You're f***ing crazy. Ever see RoboCop or Terminator? The question is answered at the cost to the American taxpayer of $0. Free. Yes, that's a 100% savings for the American people. You blood-sucking psychopaths. Do you have a question about the origins of the universe? We've got that covered too here in the John Lebang Show. We've got an expert on that. Yes. We'll tell you nobody really knows. So stop arguing about it and do something productive with yourself. Believe whatever you want in your heart and let others believe what they want. None of us were there. None of us really know. And if we can't help, well then, we'll tell you up front that we can't help, and then you can go on to do your study that wastes millions of taxpayer dollars taken from the families of hard-working Americans who are struggling to pay their bills and put food on the table, all the while you produce your stupid research. Russia scientists have lost contact with an experimental satellite filled with geckos that was to be the focus of new research on animal sex in zero gravity. Because if there were no humans on Earth, all the animals would fly up into space and have zero gravity sex. And we have to study that because one day the gecko might blast through the ionosphere into space and have sex. We're launched into space for a 60-day flight to find out the effects of weightlessness on a creature's sex life. Yeah, if there's no gravity and they're floating around, they might not have a whole lot of sex life. Scientists. Now over to Baghdad, Iraq.
Hello, John.
Abu, you sure do get around, my friend.
Yes, I do. But I will be back later this week. I had to drop off some money to some, let's say, some family. And then I fly to Honduras on Tuesday. And from there, I will be able to get to New Mexico by crossing the border.
Why New Mexico, Abu?
Well, I was told Texas called the National Guard, and I'd like to avoid them, if all possible.
Well, I can understand that. So, why are you calling in?
Oh, well, I just wanted to thank you for playing Judas Priest for me last week on that Don't Touch the Hair show you did. It was very much appreciated. Thank you.
Oh, no problem, Abu. Anytime.
Oh, I need to go now. It looks like we're about to move to the next town. See you soon, John.
Okay, thanks for your call, Abu. Over to Peppa in Chicago.
I love President Obama. He's the best. Since I voted for him, I got free money, free phone, and free birth controls.
Did you vote for him both times?
Honey, I voted like 10 times for him.
Thanks for your call. Up next is Georgia. Welcome to the John Lebang Show.
Hi, John. Ditzy Stupor here. The volcano in Iceland blew.
It did?
Yeah, it blew really hard.
Well, I bet you know all about blowing, don't you?
I do, John. I do.
Okay, thanks for your call. And we're going back out to the phone lines as they are still jammed up. Chicago, you're next on the John Lebang Show.
I hope they make a President Obama sex robot. I love President Obama.
Okay, thanks for your call. Here we are again. We have no choice but to throw out the bums in the Senate, which means the expulsion of the Democrats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take a quick break here on the 200th episode of the John Lebang Show. But don't worry, more is coming on the other side. Hey, John, you got anything to eat? Not really.
Here, try some of this jerky.
I do the jerky every night. Doesn't satisfy my hunger.
You know, Shaky, I think that's TMI.
Folks, we'll be right back.
Hey, don't touch that dial. The John Lebang Show will be right back.
I promise. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Their billers and managers are all dedicated to working for you to increase your profits. For more information, call CRRM at 248-579-3805. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Wrecking Crew, Detroit's own head-cracking, ass-kicking tribute to Motley Crue. Playing all the greatest hits. Catch their 2017 tour, March 4th at the All Around in Taylor, Michigan. April 1st at the Music Factory in Battle Creek, Michigan. April 29th at the Diesel Concert Lounge in Chesterfield Township, Michigan. June 24th at Poopy's Pub and Grub in Savannah, Illinois.
Wrecking Crew.
For more information about Detroit's own head-cracking, ass-kicking tribute to Motley Crue and additional tour information, go to their website. That's www.wreckingcrewdetroit.com.
Wrecking Crew.
Detroit's head-cracking, ass-kicking tribute to Motley Crue. You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man.
Yes, I would like some too. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue on this 200th episode of the John Lebang Show, reminiscing, remembering, and Well, replaying some of the best and most significant little tidbits and parts that have been a part of this broadcast.
Will you just shut up and play something? You're going on and on and on, like you're some big radio star.
Well, I'm trying to be shady.
Wilbert, you think he's a big radio star?
Well, maybe in his head.
Well, you got a point there. All right, then go ahead, John.
Another big part of this show is us telling stories. The first one, it's called Rally the Family. You know, I went on a road rally last night. Our team consisted of my mother, my sister Michelle, and my brother Brian. And myself, of course. Not exactly NASA's top scientists here, I'll tell you that. But my family has this thing about doing things together. So, because I was the last to arrive at the starting location, I was nominated, along with my younger brother, to do the first challenge, which was tying a Kleenex box around my waist and jumping around until 4 ping pong balls fell out, giving us our first clue. So get this picture. Here's a 45-year-old fat guy, me, jumping up and down, bouncing side to side, wiggling my gluteus maximus, trying to get these balls to fall out. Meanwhile, my other balls were about to fall off. They're up here yelling, hey, dude, if we're not having sex, we really don't want to be bouncing around. So finally, the balls come out, and we start running to the car, which at 45, I outran my brother, who's 10 years younger than me and in better shape, which is pretty funny. So we get to the car, and my sister takes off. No clue to where we're going, where we have to be, where our first objective was, but off we go. Her plan is to get to my mom's house and pick up canned food because that'll give us some extra points at the end, and because we all know how bad we suck, we're going to need those extra points. So while we are driving, there's nothing I can do. The car's bouncing around, we're in the dark, and I'm half blind. It's not like I'm going to be reading the clues at this time. So it takes a few minutes to get there. So we get to my mom's house, and I jump out of the car and run to grab the 2 bags of canned food, which they probably should have brought beforehand. That would have saved us a few minutes. I go to run in, boom, I run into the door. It's locked. The door's locked. My mom's husband's home, but the door's locked. So here comes my mom, 65 years old, running as fast as she can to open the door. She could have just given me the keys and I could have done it, but no, that's not how we roll in this family. We've got to do everything the hard way. And when it comes to the actual challenges, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So finally, she opens the door, I grab the bags, and we're off back, running to the car. Once back inside the car, there's my brother and sister with calculators, working out the first challenge. And my brother Brian, like a light goes off in his head. He finally figures out the last one. After we had took the guess and just decided that this was probably it. And he flips over the calculator, and it says Eloise. Eloise is a former mental hospital not far from here. And that was the first place we had to go to get the first clue, which was going to give us a number so we could rip off the end. But hey, we already guessed at it. We ripped the end. We're on the second clue already. We didn't have to go anywhere. We stayed right at my mom's house, and we're on to the second clue. So there are 8 challenges, and we're so awesome. We're 45 minutes into this. We've already had to guess on the first one. If there was ever an indication on how the night was going to go, the first challenge set the precedence. So here we are. 40 minutes into the rally, we've guessed at the first challenge, and the second challenge offered an even bigger obstacle. More numbers, and the only real math person in the family is me. And I'm blind as a bat. And we're in the dark, in the car. Because we couldn't turn the light on while my sister was driving. She didn't want the light on the inside of the car on while she was driving. It bothered her. So we had to use a flashlight. And I don't know if you're driving around and you're bouncing around, and the flashlight's bouncing and the paper below it's bouncing and they're bouncing in different directions. It's really hard to read. And even at one point, my mother resorted into giving me her glasses. In fact, she did it on even more than one occasion throughout the night. But anyways, we worked and discussed and argued over the second challenge. I kept thinking to myself, why?
Why did I come to this? I knew it was going to be a disaster. I didn't want to come.
I did not want to come. But the night before, there's my brother texting me.
You gonna come? You all in for the challenge?
And then the next morning, there's my sister. She's like,
We gotta be there 3:30.
I said, I can't be there at 4:45. What time does it start?
5.
Well, then why the hell we got to be there at 3:30? But hey, whatever. I went, and there I was, doing this road rally thing with my family. And we have no clue whatsoever. Deer in the headlights, baby. So, I don't know, after who knows how long, it all gets quiet up in the front of the car. You see, they stuck the old people, that would be my mother and me, in the back of the car. You see, for this road rally, everybody had a place. Everybody had a job for the night. My sister was the captain. She was Captain Picard for the night for our team. She was in charge of driving as well. That was her job. To tell us what to do and to drive. My brother, who was riding shotgun, was the official cheater, smartphone user. His job was to use the internet as much as possible so we didn't have to think too much. And he did a great job of that. If it wasn't for him and his smartphone, we'd still be out there as of right now. My mother was the team secretary. She sat behind our team driver, and her job was to write down all the answers and keep track of all the clues in the paperwork. That was her job. And out of everybody in the car, she did her job better than anybody. I sat behind our official cheater, smartphone user. My job was simple. I had to do everything nobody else wanted to do, like jump around with a tissue box on my ass and running blindly through a dark park counting benches that I'd never been to before and I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. It was a great time. So I go back to the car, which then gives us the next challenge. And boom, there we go. Our official smartphone user was off to the information highway looking up words and related words. Because that was the next challenge. It was to find out related words and use letters from those words to decode an answer for the next challenge. So after I don't know how much time, my mother kindly gives me her glasses again. And without the aid of the smartphone, I had deciphered the code and we were off to our next destination, which was to take a group selfie in front of a Vietnam veteran memorial in Wyandotte. So over the next few challenges, our official smartphone user came up with all the remaining answers via the information highway to all the remaining challenges. Occasionally assisted by our official driver, whom was thoroughly annoyed with me by this point. She was. You see, she suggested at one point that she could
drop me off at my car.
Which I declined, of course. I'm way too smart for that move. I've fallen for that one before.
Yeah, sure. Just go. Yeah, you know what? Just drop me off.
That's a criminal offense to the driver-in-chief. That'll put you into the dungeon of ignorance. And that entails 6 months of cold and unfriendly contact. So it's best to stay away from that. So finally, we ended up at our last destination, where our driving expert decides to drive through the parking lot, back onto the street, and drive to the Wendy's down the road to go to the bathroom. Which by this time, I'm just along for the ride. Not much I can do at this point but listen to Christmas songs and tell my mother what the names of them are. So they come out of Wendy's and we get back to the place, and at last we got there and we could turn in our night's work. Or lack of, that is. Then we sat in a booth and ate some Greek food, laughed at each other for coming damn near last in everything, winning only candy bars and lottery tickets. You know, thanks for playing. Everybody has to win something nowadays. Then we dropped my mom off at home, and that's it. That's my family road rally story. I'll be sure to be busy next time it comes around.
All right, folks, we've got to take another quick break, pay some bills, but don't worry, the 200th episode of the John Lebang Show is coming up on the flip side.
Don't go anywhere. The John Lebang Show will be right back.
If you are
You'd be
elderly,
crazy to change
disabled,
dial now.
receiving SSI or Medicaid, and you have a medical need or require assistance with daily housework, shopping, grooming, medication, you may qualify for housekeeping at no cost. Call now. VIP Home Healthcare, 248-579-3805. VIP Home Healthcare, there when you need them. That's 248-579-3805. And I'd like to welcome our new sponsor, Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning. For a beautiful, sparkling shine that's crystal clear, call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
Forces of darkness, the treasonable minds who collaborate, must, can, and will be wiped from the face of the earth.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening tonight and being a part of this broadcast. A bit of a reminiscent show, if you may. Here's a story I told at the end of 2014, simply titled, The Book of John. The chapter begins with our main character struggling to deal with his wife leaving him, taking everything, including his beloved dog. Where's the puppy? Wait a minute. Where the f*** is everything? That bitch.
Leave a message.
It's bad enough that you took the dog, but you couldn't even leave me a roll of toilet paper? You're an evil bitch.
What am I gonna do? I know, I'll call my brother.
Hello?
Hey bro, you won't believe this, man. That bitch took everything and left.
She did what?
I came home from work and everything is gone. She took the dog, the food, and the teepee.
That's not cool, bro.
So anyways, I'm not gonna want to do anything tonight. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah, I can understand that. Just take it easy.
All right, bro, bye. Meanwhile,
Hey, Mom. The bitch walked out on him and took everything.
Good Lord. Let me call your sister.
Hello?
I'm coming to pick you up. Your brother needs us.
debating on what to eat for dinner. Well, it was kind of her to leave me a few cans of food. At least I've got a choice. I could have the creamy corn now and the zucchini later. Or I could have the zucchini now and the creamy corn later. Or I could have a little creamy corn now and a little later, and have a little zucchini now and a little bit later. Now who could this be?
Your brother told me everything.
Did he tell you I wanted to be left alone?
We just had to see for ourselves. This place is a mess. She could have at least vacuumed before she left.
Yeah, well, I don't think she was too concerned about the dirt. Looks like she was hauling ass to get everything out before I got home.
Did you eat?
Well, I was just deciding on what to have for dinner when you two came by. Hang on. Hey, Mom!
What?
Come here!
just can't believe this.
Now, I appreciate you two coming over and helping me look over the damage. But it's been a really rough day, and I just want to be left alone.
Well, we love you, bud.
Next time, just warn me you're coming, and I'll go out and pick up a pizza or something. Thanks for coming.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Bye. How does one carry on when everything was ripped from you? The house was empty, and it seemed vacant of sound. For several weeks, he attempted to contact his wife, with virtually the same result.
This is Gibson. Leave a message.
His response varied from,
"This is bullshit,"
to,
"Just let me see the dog,"
and the more enthusiastic,
"You f***."
Eventually, he accepted that she was not going to respond to him, so he filed for divorce. Over the next several weeks, he did the best to cope with the situation. Thankfully, his BFF checked in on him frequently, but one day, the phone rings. Hello?
Hey, the dog is sick. Meet me at the vet.
He grabbed his keys and left. When he arrived, he looked over the dog. She was sick, very sick, but he thought he could nurse her back to health. Hey, can I take her home for a couple of days and see if I can help her?
Yes.
And over the course of the next few nights, the dog's health slowly improved, which it turns out was only temporary, because 3 weeks later, the dog passed away. After a few weeks, things seemed to normalize. The routine of going to work and coming home, sleeping, then doing it again, became a way of dealing with the loss of the dog and the pending court date for the divorce. It would be the second time in 3 months he had to drive to downtown Detroit for court. The last time was in January for jury duty, when it took him 1.5 hours to get there due to Death Storm 2014. What a way to start the year. Bitter cold, a foot of snow, and you got to be at jury duty on January 2nd. After waiting 2 hours for a case, they dismissed everybody because of the snow. So by then, there was another 3 inches of snow, below freezing wind chills, and another 1.5 hour drive back home. Not to mention a $20 parking fee. Anyways, it's the middle of March, and things have settled down. The divorce hearing is about a week away, and he is at work cleaning the store. Oh, hi, boss.
Yeah, well, we're closing the store in a few weeks, and, well, you'll be out of a job.
Okay. Thanks for the notice.
You could work longer hours and sell a whole lot more before you're out of your job. I would really appreciate that.
Sure, no problem. It's the least I could do.
Okay, great. Thanks. Bye.
Attention textile shopper. Everything is on sale. We're going out of business. No price is too low.
Hello, Textile.
Did you sell anything yet?
No, I didn't sell anything yet, boss. You only left 30 seconds ago.
Well, I was just checking. I'll call you back.
Okay, bye.
Attention textile shoppers. We're running an Austin Power special. All the crust velvet you can carry out for $2.
Hello, Textile.
How much have you sold?
Let me see. Well, nothing since the last time you called.
Well, how many customers have you had today?
Hang on, let me check that. Do you mean including the people here now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that would be none.
Well, that's not good. I'll call you back.
Okay. The following week featured the divorce hearing, where the soon-to-be ex decided she now wants to ride together to the divorce hearing. After an exciting yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor formality session, the divorce was finalized. And so ends another page. The first day of work came.
Okay, everyone. Today we're going to hand out your equipment, and then for the next few weeks, you'll be training. Okay, you with the long hair? Here's a shovel and a measuring tape, and here's your air meter. We're all out of everything else you'll need to do your job.
Okay, thanks.
Grab a wheelbarrow and carry everything downstairs to your truck. And when you are done, we'll send you out with Robert.
Later that day,
You'll need to stick the plates in like this.
What?
Don't worry, you'll figure it out.
The next day was Tuesday, and back to work it was.
We're going to send you out with Ames today.
Okay, later that day.
You need to crown these coats really fast.
What?
Don't worry, you'll figure it out.
Wednesday was the next day.
Now that you've trained a little, We're gonna send you to Big Rapids for 4 days to learn everything there is to know about density and working with the nuclear gauge.
Nuclear?
That way you can be certified to use the gauge.
Excuse me, the literature states that inside the gauge is cesium-137 and beryllium?
It only gives out as much radiation as a microwave, don't worry.
After spending 4 days at Ferris State and passing the open book exam, it was back to work.
The schedulist has the job for you. Just head over to her station and she'll give you the details.
Okay. I was told you have something for me to do?
You can't say hello?
Sorry. Hello?
I want you to head over to Daly Road. They need a tech there right now.
Okay. Arriving to the site after a short drive, the next stop was to find the inspector. Excuse me, sir. Do you know where the inspector is? The inspector!
Not speak English!
Okay, sorry. Sir, do you know where the inspector is?
Inspector?
Yes.
We know inspector.
And after speaking to several undocumented workers, it was clear the inspector was not on site. But one fine man from south of the border spoke enough broken English to communicate that density was needed before they could pour the concrete. 2 immediate problems came to mind. First, a shovel and a measuring tape was not the proper equipment for density. You needed a special hammer, a mold, and a scale, none of which were available. And second, the material that was to be tested was not covered in the 4-day training class. A phone call to the office was the only thing to do.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, this is the long-haired guy. You sent me on this job on Daly Road. I don't think I can do it. You might need to send somebody with more experience.
You got a certificate?
Yeah, but I've never seen this material before, and I don't have any equipment.
Why don't you have any equipment?
Well, they were out of it when it was my turn to get equipment.
Just figure it out.
Oh, I'll figure it out.
Hello?
Hey, boss, the schedulist sent me on this job, and I don't have the equipment to do the job. I called her and told her that, and she told me to figure it out and hung up on me.
Well, we planned on having you work in the ghetto anyways. We'll put you on asphalt until the ghetto work begins.
Okay, thanks. Asphalt, or HMA as it is known in the field. 3 things were sure when working with asphalt. The work was dirty, the hours are long, and it was very dangerous. It only took 1 day to come to that realization. The I-275 paving project was a 7-mile stretch of highway covering 3 lanes in each direction. The job was going to take 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the weather. Start time was at 6 a.m., and getting home before midnight was a miracle. 6 days a week, digging in the 300-degree asphalt in the middle of the summer, during the day, and then drilling cores only inches away from oncoming traffic, while dealing with swarms of blood-sucking mosquitoes attacking in the evening. The job finished in mid-July. It was now time to work in the ghetto. And there was really no time for anything else. The hell job for 6 days a week and the radio show on Sunday. And there was trouble in BFF land. But there was no time to help fix the situation. So the ghetto work lasted from mid-July through the end of October, with a small break in August to work midnights on I-75 in Flint. During that period, the city had sent an ordinance violation to Mr. Longhair and forced him to appear in court. With payment due before leaving the building and being escorted by the bailiff to the cashier's window was the next destination.
You can make the payment here.
Okay, thanks.
I'll be with you in a moment. Please have a seat.
Can't I just pay and go? I'm the only one here.
Please have a seat. Sir, I can help you now.
Here's my fine. Thank you, come again. A word of advice. It's probably a good idea to have a judge as a friend, or at least live on the same street that he does. So now we're back to the ghetto, and it's an interesting thing working in the ghetto. Some people are glad the street is being fixed.
Man, you're a beautiful man. I think the streets are woo, yeah.
Others are angry.
How long is it gonna take for you to stop with the road?
And some just hate your very existence. And others want to get to know you.
Hey, baby, $10 will get you a...
And in the ghetto, people out of the burned woodwork will just come up to you and randomly ask you things.
Hey, man, you got 50 cents? Do you have bottles I can have? Hey, man, you want some smoke?
And least we forget about the drivers who think a human being is just a moving pylon.
Hey, get out of the work zone! Look out! Look out! Get over! Can't you read the sign?
One thing can be said about working in the ghetto. It's not boring. There's nothing like it. But eventually, the Ghetto Work was finished. And it was back to dealing with the scheduleless.
I have a density job for you tomorrow.
Okay, but I don't have equipment.
Why don't you have equipment?
Because there was no equipment to give to me? Don't you remember? We've gone through this before.
Just figure it out.
Another week went by, and those hours dropped off rapidly. And it was time for the big talk with the boss.
You had a good year, and next year will be even better.
Yeah. Just lay me the f*** off. By week's end, all the equipment was turned in, and all that was left was to file for unemployment.
Hello, this is the unemployment agency.
How come I'm not getting very much in my benefits?
That's because we don't count the last 6 months of your work, sir.
But that's when I made all my money.
Well, that's too bad, isn't it? Have a nice day.
As we're running out of time here in this 200th episode, we've got a collage for you from 2015. Take a listen.
That's right, folks. A Spermometer. His prowess was celebrated on hats, t-shirts, and even his own commemorative semen straw. Take that home for your Slurpee. So they bait the big old bull, get him all horny with another cow, and just about when he's ready to just pounce, they bring in a cow blow-up doll.
That ain't no bull story.
Scientists are now assessing engineered penises for safety, function, and durability. So I'm wondering, will lesbians go out and get one of these penises and have them sewn on? And what if you're a guy with a small schmeckle? Maybe you got a little baby carrot, and you go in there and you go, hey, doc, can you sew a 12-incher on me, please? Can you give me a bigger schmeckle? Of course, I don't have to worry about that. Those bugs are tasty. Please, God, I'm praying right here on the air. Please don't let Joe Biden win. All right, folks, the phone lines are lighting up like crazy. Let's go out to them. Pepper, you're first on the John Lebang Show.
I think Michelle Obama should be the next president.
Thanks for your call. Shady from Detroit, you're up next.
About damn time I got through. You gotta do something about that long waiting period. Hey, keep it down, I'm on the radio.
So, Shady, what are you calling for?
I'd like to nominate my sister-in-law for your Scumbag Hall of Fame.
Oh, did she used to support Hillary Clinton?
Well, kinda. Let's just say they have a lot in common.
How so?
Well, they're both ugly. I mean it. My sister-in-law is so ugly that when she was born, the doctor slapped her on her face. Hang on a minute, please. Leroy, can't you handle one stupid cat?
What's going on over there, Shady?
Well, my genius nephew's trying to fight off a stray cat that just happened to sneak in my house. Hang on a minute. Kick it, boy! Kick it! Oh, shit. Listen, John, I'm gonna have to let you go.
Okay, Shady.
Boy, now why did you let it bite you on your dick?
Thanks for your call.
I'm just a gigolo. Everywhere I go, women want to bang me.
And now, over to the phones. Shady, you're up first tonight. Time to speak your mind.
Yeah, I'm watching a Godzilla movie right now.
Oh, really? Which one?
Godzilla versus Alex Jones.
Did you say Godzilla versus Alex Jones?
Damn right.
Uncle Shady, look at that.
You know, I've never seen that one.
Are you kidding me? This is the best one of the bunch.
Are you serious?
Uncle Shady, he's biting Godzilla. Uncle Shady, look.
Oh, John, you're missing out. Right now, Alex Jones went into his Bilderberg rage, and he's now trying to eat Godzilla.
Uncle Shady, why won't he use his fire?
Can you hang on a minute, John?
Sure, Shady.
Don't you remember, Leroy? Godzilla was trying to take a dump on the White House when AJ attacked him.
So?
Do I have to explain everything to you? How's Godzilla supposed to concentrate on using his atomic breath when he's clinching off a loaf at the same time he's fighting off Alex Jones?
Oh, I see.
Okay, sorry about that, John. Now, where was I?
Well, you were telling us about the movie.
Okay, yeah, right. So right now, Godzilla's in a pretty bad position. Alex Jones used his deception attack to confuse Godzilla, and now he's behind Godzilla. And he's got that weird look in his eye. Oh no, He's ripping the Washington Monument out of the ground.
Get up, Godzilla! Get up!
Oh, he's going for the... Now he's pissed.
What happened, Shady? What happened?
John, you don't want to know.
That's TMI, Uncle Shady.
Yeah, they could have left out that visual. Anyways, John, Godzilla's had just about enough of Alex Jones. You know, you just don't do that to Godzilla.
That was a dirty probe.
I know. He's the king of monsters, not the queen of monsters.
You can say that again.
Anyways, John, Godzilla just shoved Harry Reid down AJ's throat, and now Nancy Pelosi, and there goes John McCain.
Get John Boehner! Get John Boehner!
Oh, wow!
Did you see that, Uncle Shady?
John, you won't believe this. Godzilla just took the Capitol building and gave Alex Jones a taste of his own medicine. And now he's using his newly formed atomic fart to kill Alex Jones and the entire Congress in one shot. This is by far the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. You know, I gotta let you go now. I feel a movement coming on after all that. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Shady, thanks for your call. Chicago, Illinois, you're next on the John Lebang Show.
Hey, where's can I get the numbers for that schmeckle doctor?
The story doesn't say, ma'am.
Well, my boyfriends need to see them bad.
So how many boyfriends do you have?
I didn't say boyfriends, I said boyfriends.
Okay, well, thanks for your call. We've been following this young 24-year-old man who went to a secret society and had a circumcision done, and they botched the circumcision, and the poor guy lost his schmeckle. Well, and this is in South Africa.
And he's the first person to have a successful addictomy surgery.
And now we have an update on this young man. The recipient of the world's first addictomy surgery will soon be a father. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. According to the South African outlet News, his surgeons were recently informed that his girlfriend was pregnant. Yeah! Making him the first person to not only have a successful addictomy surgery, but then to successfully impregnate his girlfriend. They're going to tune that in on the BBC.
It's important for girls around the world to get STEM and education.
She continues, you know our sons are important. We love men. Well, not all women love men.
Now, some men love men.
You know what? Men are people too. Men are people too. Leroy, you're up next.
I'd like to be part of your society. I love women, and I'm really handy around engines.
Leroy, get over here. There's some guy on the radio who sounds just like you.
I'll be there in a minute, Uncle Shady.
Well, Leroy, you sound like a good candidate for the Mo Men's Society.
Hey, wait. Get off that phone.
Hang on, Uncle Shady.
I told you before, you can't be part of the Mo-Mans. Give me that phone.
But Uncle Shady.
Hello, John.
Hey, what's up, Shady?
Sorry about that. You know, Leroy's not qualified to be a Mo-Man.
He's not qualified. How come?
Well, he's still a virgin.
Uncle Shady, I'm not a virgin.
The neighbor's goat doesn't count.
I can't believe you, Uncle Shady.
What's the big deal? Some girl might want to lebang you now, knowing you're a rookie.
Okay, Shady, I've got a show to do, so I'll have to let you go.
Okay, John. Bye.
Thanks for your call. I got a pretty cool haircut, you know, my long hair and all. You've got to get the permission of the government to grant you something. Oh, please, the mighty government, please. You know, you're kind of like praying to your God there. You know, please, mighty government, give me what I want, please. Please, the mighty government, give me what I want. I mean, it's another form of religion.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another episode of the John Lebang Show, this special 200 episode. I'd like to thank my good friends Shady and Wilbert for hanging out with us this evening. Don't forget to go to my website, that's www.jlebang.com. Thank you all for listening, and until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, this is John Lebang, and I'm Shady, signing off from the Banger Studios.
4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. 2, tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.
Resistance is futile.
Alright, who ripped the silent one?
Well, it wasn't me.
Jesus, John, what the hell did you eat? Bean burritos? You might need to stop eating those.
That was silent but deadly.
Next time warn us so we can put on some gas masks. Sorry, now let's get on out of here.
What are we gonna do?
I'm hungry.
What do you want to eat?
John, what do you got? Bean burritos? Never mind.